We're done with that though. Is it the jump rope? Yeah. Whenever I skip rope, I can't use these wireless headphones. They fall right out of my ears. So of course, it would be helpful if I could get the rope itself not to fall out of my hands. Finish my protein shake and then we'll hit this. New name, who this? Yes, sir. For those of you who don't know me, my name is BullMuscle. For those of you who know me as Beer Battered Aggie, yes, I'm going through a rebrand. This seems like a pretty good time to talk about that, so let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm a diehard Aggie.
The eyes of Texas are upon you. That is the song they sing so well. Sounds like hell! So goodbye to Texas University. We're gonna beat you all to chigga-roo-ga-rum, rock tough, real stuff, Texas A&M. Goodbye.
We get a little bit more all. So why can't I click all? Oh, yeah, there it goes. Nice. Alright, let's do one more bronze bar. If you adopt the mindset, and this is a quote from Jacob Fisker of Early Retirement Extreme, if you know that guy, 10 points to you. But it's a quote that I find unbelievably poignant in today's era. Spending money represents a failure to solve one's problems by smarter means. I'm gonna repeat that. Spending money represents a failure to solve one's problems by smarter means. That's painful. But yes, my friends, pure protein, as near as makes no difference, from raw egg whites. It's disgusting, the taste is vile, and it smells, but 100. Good morning, everyone. Welcome on in, and this is our 300th episode since I began. So I'd like to thank you all very much for, well, sticking around and enjoying, really. It means a lot, actually. It really does. Just gotta set up the laptop here. There we go. So I officially bit the bullet, and I'm gonna start, from now on, bringing my, power cable out here, so that way I don't have to worry about running out of power mid-workout. So may mean I have to be a little bit more intelligent with how I move the laptop around for different views, different angles, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Chest should be looking pretty decent, yeah. The reason being that, as you saw yesterday, we were working it. We were doing bench, we were doing triceps, we were doing shoulders. Today, we have a pull workout, so today we're gonna be hitting traps, we're gonna be hitting lats, and we're going to be hitting buys. All right? Good. But first, as we always do, actually, I'm going to take this off. Get a good 10th gauge in here. Ooh. Huh. Something feels strange up there. Give myself just a minute. First, we're going to warm up. That didn't feel quite right. Can't tell if that was like acid reflux or heart skipping a beat. Anyway, congrats, Bull. You've leapfrogged the Mets. Yes, my beloved Washington Nationals are out of the basement. By the way, I do know Strasburg is retiring. As y'all have seen, I do have one of my old Strasburg shirts hanging up in my bedroom. Because why pay for decorations when you can use old shirts and get them for free? Phoenix, welcome. Thank you very much. Severus, my man. Okay, for those of you who really like the new sound quality, for those of you who like the ASMR type stuff, you can thank Mr. Severus. He gifted me this very nice mic, and it sounds a lot better. That's as far as I can work out, so I do really appreciate it, man. Storm Garrett to unit lost. Ouch. Did I sleep well? Not as well as I'd have liked to. I didn't get to bed on time. After all this stuff in the Discord yesterday, I had a few other Discord tasks I needed to do. I'll explain. Let me knock down a set of jump ropes first. Good enough. So, ended up not sleeping very well last night because I got shanghaied into joining a fantasy team. Someone guilted me into it. I hate fantasy football. I'm really trying to distance myself from football as a whole this autumn because last year I made some really poor decisions. And it's the height of hypocrisy for me to sit here and talk about, making good decisions as decisions forcing you. You've heard my spiel. It's really hypocritical for me to sit here and say that and then actively continue, caring about something I can't control, college football, and making poor decisions for my health based off of it. Staying up too late, watching too much TV, drinking too much. So I'm trying to distance myself from that. Unfortunately, some of my friends haven't really gotten the memo, and one of them, you know who you are if you're watching, guilted me into joining college football fantasy league because they ran out of other options for their league and they needed a 10th person. So, wah wah, I got stuck doing that. The other one was that for those of you who have been around since, what would this have been, March, y'all may remember College Football Risk, me doing that at one point. Well, we're working on the next season, and because I played such an integral part in the last game, people want me to attend for a lot of the meetings to plan that. So it ended up going pretty late. I got to bed by a little after midnight, so I got maybe 7.5, a little bit under. More than 7, but less than 7.5 hours of sleep, so not ideal. Unfortunately. Yeah, and by the way, for those of you who like fantasy football, okay, that's fine. That's your right. You can enjoy whatever you'd like to enjoy, but nobody, okay, nobody cares about your fantasy football team. Only you care. Don't talk to me about it. It's annoying. I don't give a shit about how you did on your imaginary league based on statistics in a sport I'm trying to watch less of. Hey, and I'm Reagan, welcome back in. Good to see you. Strohs and Rice, don't look now if there's a Mariner breathing down your back. So sure is. Tell you what, the AL West is looking like a pretty fun race this year. But yeah, so then Fatal, good to see you. Yeah, nobody gives a shit about your fantasy team. Okay, now let's actually move on to the workout. So hopefully tonight I can get to bed a little bit earlier. I should be able to on the basis that there's just going to be a lot less going on. Hopefully that's what happens. I'm probably going to go pick up groceries today. I may do some of the scuppernong harvesting. I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to make wine. On one hand, it's really fun to make it, and I think I could probably make a pretty entertaining stream about that tomorrow. But on the other hand, it's not good for me. So, do I want to do it? French and Gish was into doing stuff like that. Yeah, I know. I need to be better at saying no. That's one of my weak spots. Is all too often I'm a people pleaser. I try to do that. Especially when it's caused you so much grief. It's okay. It's a really good group of friends, and I'm being a bit harsh on them, so it's all right. I'm not gonna get too mad over it. All right, so let's get. I still need to figure out better cable management here. You know what? I'm gonna fix this now, just so it's not not a continuing issue. Stand by. There we go. A little bit of decent management will make my life so much simpler. Much better. It's really the mic. The mic is fantastic, but it's got a long cable, and I need a better way to manage it, and I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. So fucking happy right now? Well, that's good. Why's that? Good to know. Why are you so happy? Share the joy, share the happiness. All right. Put that over there. And hopefully we just don't get absolutely mauled by mosquitoes. I know that's a pipe dream. Whatever. I gotta do pull-ups. That's today's workout. Although I could go for some music before heading out. Recently just got out of a town meeting. Today the town residents won. Today my town voted to abolish its parking minimums. My aunt can finally convert her house into a coffee shop. Let's go! Dude, that's fantastic! Hell yeah! Hell yeah, that's awesome! Good for you, man! And good for your aunt. Oh, I hope she has a great opening business. Seriously, that's fantastic. Minimum parking restrictions are bullshit, and they artificially jack up housing prices, and they stifle businesses, and they create useless land space in the middle of the most valuable parts of land in the world, our cities. Parking is like parking lots. The thing is, parking lots can only do one thing. Minimum parking restrictions can only do one thing: create more space for parking. Well, parking is only valuable when it has a car in it. An empty parking lot is literally it's a zero value product. And you could argue, because it takes a lot of emissions, a lot of concrete, a lot of asphalt to make parking spaces, that it's negative value. Helped my aunt acquire the house in 2019. It's been an uphill battling trying to open because of parking minimum. She needed 18 spots in her neighborhood. That's ridiculous. I'm really proud of you, man. That's a strong town's approach right there. If you've never read, by the way, I read this book recently. It's fantastic. It's called it's called Confessions of a Recovering Engineer by Chuck Marohn. And I will say the idea is we want to build strong towns, be they smaller towns or bigger cities. And the way to do that is by making them less dependent on the car, not because of any environmental or social justice reasons. Those are fine. But this is for a more conservative audience. This is for people who just want their town to be more economically prosperous. Well, car dependency hurts economic prosperity. So make more walkable cities instead of more parkable, absolutely. So I don't understand why there are some suburbanites that get really anti-urbanist. It's dumb, because there's no good argument from a fiscal conservative perspective. If you care about a city that can pay its bills, that can maintain its infrastructure, and that is financially sustainable, and perhaps even one that can lower taxes in the future because you have fewer maintenance requirements, you should go the urbanist walkable route. And if you're more left-wing, urbanism allows you to live without a car, which definitely helps people who are poorer. It's much better from a justice and equity perspective, because a lot of the emissions caused by major highways and caused by parking lots diminish the value of, lower value area neighborhoods. The sense, that's gonna hurt already disadvantaged communities. And of course, from an environmental perspective, needs no introduction there. Cars are terrible for the environment. I would love more neighborhood corner grocers. Damn right. And better still, if it's a neighborhood corner grocer, and then the grocer himself or herself lives up on top. Glad we got rid of that useless business barrier. Hell yeah. Isn't it like out-of-state coffee? She just wants to open a local coffee shops or suburban neighborhood. It would be the first corner store since the town has existed. Congratulations. Seriously, congratulations are in order. That is fantastic. I wish your aunt all the best, and I hope she becomes very prosperous. I think she will. Coffee shops are good business. I don't know exactly where you live, but it shouldn't be too hard especially if it's decent coffee and you're in the suburbs. You're going to have every suburban mom coming in there. It's going to I think that'll be a fabulous business. Seriously, I wish you all the prosperity. I wish your aunt all the prosperity. And I wish your town all the prosperity. All right, let's begin. Now, jibber jabbering before a set. There we go. There we go. This vine's already creeping back in already. I do. We'll do 23. Good start, good start. Should be popular. House is quite large. Tried to convince me different places filled in what's a salon coffee hybrid setup. Dude, that's brilliant. Seriously. Because you're going to pay the same taxes on the property, but now you can take the value that's trapped in housing and convert it into a business, which means you're getting cash flow. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Dude, I need one of the more progressive or left-wing people in my chat to make that handshake meme where it's BullMuscle shaking BullMuscle's leftist, and in the middle it says car-dependent suburbia is trash. Or remove parking regulations or stuff like that. Super hard, diligent, our business constantly. She does to serve pastries and coffee while people get their hair done. Dude, that's such a good business model. Every suburban mom in the local area is gonna love that. The best part is too, is your mom or your aunt here is teaching people, hey, you don't need to go drive your car 10 miles to get something nice. That's gonna be so perfect. Dude, oh, I hope that works. I hope your aunt has more customers than she knows what to deal with. Not to mention that could make your aunt a job creator because she may need someone to help run the business. Okay, economic conservatives, tell me that isn't a good argument. Come on, join the urbanist side. You can be against cars and be right-wing economically. Or centrist, like I am. But congratulations, that is something to be ecstatic about. I'm glad you're so happy about it, as you should be. That's fantastic news. Seriously, congratulations. Sorry. I need to dust in here, I still haven't. It's on my to-do list. You know, I'm gonna add it to my task list on my journal before I forget. There we go. Zip plane. All right, 2 sets. I think that's really great news. Seriously, congratulations. If you don't mind me asking, what part of the country is this in? Just because, I mean, you never know. Maybe one of us will get to stop by and say hello. I don't do much for coffees or pastry myself, but hey, maybe some people in here do. The business is successful and it's looking like it will be, so I can use summer profits by old property in my town. One abandoned McDonald's is paying nothing and sending in tax appeals. A land value tax to avoid abandoning business. Now I have to either reinvest or sell. Hey, it's not bad. New Jersey. Where? Southern or northern? I know a fair amount of people from both, actually. My roommate, Dodger, if you're not on my Discord, please join and talk to my roommate, Dodger Zion. She is Jersey born and raised, only moved down here last year, so. Hey, Marth, good to see you. Either way, if you're in New Jersey in particular, you should do quite well with that. That business is going to work really well for you. Central Jersey. Does Central Jersey actually exist? I get varied opinions on this one. Dodger says yes, but I've heard just as many people from New Jersey say no, it's just a construct made by people around Trenton who don't like being called North Jersey. Yeah, so Dodger's from Camden County, so very much South Jersey there. I will say, it's never a state I would want to live in. The taxes are really high, the weather's not very good, and the cost of living is very high as well. But in terms of like urbanism, walkable communities, and like not being car dependent, New Jersey is at least a top 5, at bare minimum a top 5 state. It could have the argument for number 1. It does exist, don't listen to Northerns or Southerns. Your body looks like it's carved by Greek gods. I appreciate that, that's very kind of you. Nikita, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the bullpen. Middlesex County is Deaf Central. I think that's what, I mean, it's got middle in the name, it would make sense. So for what it's worth, Dodger is a Southerner, but she believes in Central Jersey. Here's the real question. Is it pork roll or Taylor ham? That's the most New Jersey question I know how to ask. All right, I'm gonna do another set. Dude, compared to where I live, hell yeah, New Jersey's expensive. Or maybe you're being sarcastic. My Southern ass is not good at detecting sarcasm. So if that's your Yankee sarcasm, shove it. I get it. I get you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 15. So that's 56 and 3 sets. Moved away from New York because of Jersey. Okay, it's all relative. I live in South Carolina. Dude, you don't want to know what I paid for my house. It's pork roll. Okay. You need to meet Dodger. Hey, Celty, my man. Shout out to my boy Celty coming in here. Always love it when other Twitch streamers show up in my chat. This is in California, Austin, Texas, New York. I gotta say New Jersey's by far and away the cheapest. Austin's a shithole. And yeah, compared to California, New York, New Jersey's the cheapest, but my property taxes are $500 a month. Or sorry, $500 a year, excuse me. $500 a year. It's like, what, 45 a month? A little bit less. But you get what you pay for. There ain't shit for public services here. Had some time this morning, want to see one? Well, always good to see you. So Celty y'all does a lot more of the cardio, hit kind of workouts. His content's really good, really friendly, loads of good advice. Strongly recommend giving Celtsy a follow. Always love his content. We're just chilling in here. Neon gave me some great news. Apparently, his aunt got a parking regulation overturned in her town and is going to start a business now that she doesn't have to make 18 new parking spaces. By the way, 18 parking spaces is such a bullshit number. What coffee shop and hair salon has 18 people in it? Don't you like it? I liked Austin. It was more walkable in Dallas and Houston. I'm an Aggie. I'll give you 2 guesses. Or I'll give you 3 guesses why I don't like Austin. The first 2 don't count. But I actually do have other reasons than college football fandom. No, Austin's a shithole. Austin is it's still horrendously unwalkable. Better than Dallas and Houston is not, that is not a high bar to clear. It has all the cost of living, all the homelessness problems, all the crime problems, all the traffic, all of that. It has the same, it's got all the bad parts of Los Angeles, but it doesn't have the beaches, the mountains, the weather. Like, Austin's got all the worst of Texas and all the worst of California in one horrendous city. I fucking hate Austin. Also, I'm an Aggie, so saw him off. So of course I would hate, like, I'm almost obligated to hate Austin, but I do anyway. Kelsey, good to see you. A hockey fan, made a new account, deleted my old one. Well, welcome back. You'd be so kind to hit that follow button. That way you don't miss any further streams, which, by the way, this is episode number 300. So I'd like to thank all of y'all who have been supporting and watching my channel. It means a lot, and the reason I've continued is because I've got a great fan base. What have been good lately? I'd say I have. I was up in Washington State and in Boston for like 3 out of the last 4 weeks. So yesterday was my first day back in the gym and on stream. It's been wild. It's been wild. But yeah, Neon, compared to rural South Carolina, I guess my standards are different than yours. No, cost of living is insanely low around here. You could choose Austin versus Houston. What would you choose? Oh, that's an awful question. I hate you for asking that. That is a terrible question. Why would you ask me that? That's difficult. I'm gonna do a set. I need to think about that one. Well played. If you were trying to troll me, well done. Ugh. I don't even like thinking about that question. Ugh. The best big city in Texas is San Antonio, and it's not even close, by the way. Take that. I think this bar is starting to bend. I probably need a better pull-up setup. I don't want to get a new rack though, it's going to be expensive. Hate beaches and mountains. So I'm more of a homebody. I don't like hiking and kayaking, so I know what people saw in Los Angeles. Homelessness, crime, expensive housing, and hobbies are boring. I'm very outdoorsy, so like LA, for all of its problems, LA has a lot of fun stuff for me to do. I'd pick Houston because I know the pay would be better there. Also, I got loads of oil and gas buddies in A&M, so I could get a job paying bank. But fuck both of those cities.
Houston's a dump, and Austin's an expensive dump. Fringe Sport is based in Austin. That's good enough to get me to visit. Fuck Austin. I'd rather live in College Station than either. Yes, I am a member of the cult. They have dip bars with pull-up bars attached for fairly cheap prices. Yeah, the problem is, okay, so I've thought about one of those, but consider, the top holes on my rack are right here. This is not, I really have to keep my knees bent just for that to work. I'd like to do that, but this isn't high enough is the problem. I'm too tall. I prefer the name Austin, but I love Whitney Houston, so streaking here. Ha! That's pretty funny. All right, so we're gonna do some rows. Your rows. We're gonna do some shrugs, we'll do biceps. We got a lot to do. There we go. Plug the laptop in. Perfect. At least Austin sounds like it looks, versus having Houston, the house, and the name not being phonetically the same. Stupid family name history. Ha. Let's see. I mean, well, bend my knees forward. See, I'm British. Houston makes completely phonetic sense to me. So the problem is that the thing that British people do, Stephen Fry did this in his America series, and he always called it Houston, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound good. It's like saying Illinois. No. Prefer a nice AC-cooled sauna, swimming pool, indoor exercise, Equinox gym over surfing and hiking. Every creator friend of mine moved to LA. I stayed in New York City, plus I don't think LA has Equinox in the name. Whereas Equinox, I love my gym. Def worth the $300 a month. Holy Cadelco, man. That's expensive. I mean, hey, whatever it takes to get a good lift, but man, $300 a month. Shoot, you'd be able to buy my gym in, gosh, maybe 3 months of that, 4? The plate's probably 5. That's wild. Yeah, the only gyms I have available to me, none in my town. The closest ones are in Augusta, North Augusta, and those would cost probably around the ballpark of, start with 175, see how it feels. Probably around the ballpark of 30 to 40 a month. But they're probably nowhere near as nice. But man, that's the thing. I don't think a lot of Yankees grasp just how cheap my cost of living is around here. You just pay $10 for Planet Fitness. My accounting friend introduced me to Equinox, and once you make the switch, you can't go back. Oh, Planet Fitness is garbage because they don't have barbells. You can't lift anything heavy, and they have the fucking lunk alert, which is as dumb as it sounds. But there's a big difference between Planet Fitness and a gym at $300 a month. That's just a lot of money. If you make enough to, justify it, more power to you, especially if it means you're not spending money on other hobbies. But like, that's a lot, fam. That is quite a lot. Ooh, I need music. What am I doing? There we go. When you spend $20 a month, I found used workout equipment I stuck in my basement. That's the thing. I live in my little small town, so I just have part of my garage as my gym. How many people live in my town? I mean, hey, my town is 1,800 people. You may have a point there, but All right, let's do this. God, speaking of the downsides to living here, it's already 87 in here, and it's gonna get warmer. Today, I think the high's supposed to hit 100, which doesn't sound as bad as Texas, But South Carolina is extremely humid and also very much bug infested. The mosquitoes here are very aggressive. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna do bent over rows. This is 175. This is harder than I normally do, but I can only hit this hard for at least one set. That's hard. I probably need to go down weight. 7. I think we're gonna go down to 155. Yeah. My annual living expenses, I have to work to get it to $20,000 a year. That's why I live here. I mean, I live quite well if you ask me. Hey, Rainbow, good to see you. You ready to stay at the Equinox Hotel? It's only $1,000 a night and the gym comes free. Jesus Christ. Dude, I live on not that much over $1,000 a month. Seriously. The problem with Planet Fitness is their entire business model is based around getting people to sign up and then not go. I kind of have a problem with that. If you're serving pizza parties at your gym, are you really serious about getting people in better health? No. It's going well, Rainbow. It's hot and humid as always in here. We're gonna do a second set of rows. All right, let's do another set. We'll go underhand grip this time. 2, 3. Come on! Come on. Get it. Oh, that was shit! I like that. I gotta go down weight. Damn! That's frustrating. Below 10K. Is that 10K a month? My condo is $58.50 a month. Jesus Christ. I was curious why you chose STEM instead of business as a major. Are you talking to me? Hey, Nick. Trip was good. Talk a little bit more about that later. Dude, my entire expenses are $1,500 a month. I have to work to get to 16 or 1700. But we're talking including things like charity here. Holy shit. That is a lot of money you are spending. Man, you must be bringing in a fat paycheck. That's gonna take me a minute to process. $10,000 a month for expense? Like, I cannot fathom how one would go about spending $10,000 a month. Like, I literally, I can't process that. Dude, it took me until July to spend $10,000 in the year. Hey, GGR, good to see you. Working a slow day, I wanted to say hey. Vegan bodybuilder, so food is expensive. Okay, fair enough. Now that's hard mode right there, because getting your macros right when you can't have meat or yogurt or really any dairy, that's difficult. So a lot of props to you for that. I respect guys, vegans who aren't total soy boys. And what I mean by that is that if you're a vegan who lifts weights, you're kind of pioneering right now, man. You're one of those people proving that not every vegan is an insufferable little 140-pound twig who couldn't lift to save his life. Doesn't have income having to pay that when a condo is near $6K. I can only imagine what your taxes are up there. Yikes. Yeah, I will tell you though, the vegan, whatever challenges you have finding vegan food, be lucky you don't live in the deep south. Workout's going smoothly so far. It's very warm in here today. It is. We're already getting close to 90. We haven't really been going for that long. It's not even 10. Let's do another set. Probably not hard to get to 10K when a condo is nearly 6K. I mean, that's got to be a nice condo. Even in New Jersey, I mean, it blows my mind that you're sitting here talking about New Jersey being cheap and then mentioning that you spend $10,000 a month. We live in very different worlds, my friend. And I'm not judging you for the way you choose to spend. That's your decision. But it's kind of shocking. Excuse me. It's kind of shocking to realize just how drastically different costs of living can be. More like 7K in expenses. Some of that is funny. You definitely cut back on housing and fun when picking where I choose to live. And I'm young. It's like New York City nightlife. The city's not cheap for the faint of heart, but for the opportunities, the money you can make here is amazing. That's true. And on the counterpoint, right, my cost of living is very low, but I have to make my own fun. This is kind of one of the ways I do that. One of the other ways thank you, GGR. One of the other ways is pick my own grapes and make my own wine, for instance. I mean, this place is cheap even versus the rest of the country. This is one of the lowest cost of living areas. So, conservatives talking about the witch hunt against red meat. While you are correct that unprocessed red meat can be very good for you, be honest with yourself. How many average people are eating unprocessed red meat? Most of the red meat sold is the heavily processed junky crap that can lead to cancer if eaten in too high a quantity. And I love me some sausages and some burgers and some brisket and all that jazz. But just moderation. I get 100% British beef to have with my salad and berries and nuts. So that's the thing. You're doing it right. I actually eat very little beef anymore because beef is expensive here and pork is extremely cheap. We're talking like around $1 to $1.50 a pound. $1.99 is what it's normally at. Sometimes it goes on sale for a lot less. I can get chicken leg quarters for, when they're on sale, as low as 49 cents a pound here. Yeah, that's the benefit of living out in the sticks. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Come on, come on, come on. That's good. We'll do another set of that. Ooh, we're lightheaded. We're talking the kind of majority of people have access to it. The problem for me with veganism is not that it's unhealthy, because it isn't. Vegan can be very healthy. The problem for me is that it's inaccessible. I don't have access to a very good vegan diet. And meat is extremely inexpensive around here. Hey, Kelsey, thank you very much. We're trying our best. But love meat, yes, cheap. It is artificially cheap. We subsidize meat in this country, although far before I get rid of subsidies for meat, I get rid of subsidies for crap. We're talking junk food, corn syrup, all the sugar. We put so much sweet crap in things in this country. Credit where it's due to the Europeans, they've done better on this one. We need to improve here in the United States. I'm vegan, but the red meat scare is bullshit, my humble opinion. Love my meat, not vegan for the animals. Some people are doing it for personal principles, internally about a hypocrite preaching about climate change and the environment. Almost everything causes cancer. I just tell humans to live your life and have a good time over here. Well, the biggest thing, if you really care about climate change, the biggest thing you can do is support nuclear power. That's it. That's the cold, ugly reality of the world. Solar, wind, and unicorn farts will not decarbonize the electric grid. Not in the US, not in the UK, especially because not in the UK, because y'all don't have a whole lot of sunshine most of the year. Not in Germany, not anywhere. We need nuclear power. It's a reality that most people really don't like. But listen, okay, I'm an engineer. I've studied this topic for many years. You might not like nuclear, but we need it. I feel like a rare breed. Many people these days live their principles. I try to live my principles. I'm very concerned about climate change, but the simple reality of what I get paid to do means I live in a rural area and I do have to own a car. Like literally, it would be, if I tried to bike to my place of work, I would get stopped at the site gates and told to turn around. It would also be extremely unsafe for me to do so. Literally, the only road to my site is a 55-mile-an-hour no-shoulder road. Wait, you like nuclear energy? Liam, do you know what I do for a living? Someone use the day job emoji. I'll do it. I'll do it. There you go. Someone doesn't know what I do for a living. So we got here. Titan God, good to see you. I'm doing all right. Sweating a lot. It's hot in here. It is 31-ish C. That's like 87, 88 in my garage. Jason, good to see you. I see we got 31 people in chat, so y'all have earned handstand push-ups after the workout. But yeah, no, it's an unpleasant reality. Where am I from? I'm from the south of the United States, so I'm a southerner. Lived the plurality of my life in Texas, currently reside in South Carolina. Yeah, Niam, I did my college thesis paper on nuclear waste storage, and I work in the nuclear industry day to day. Now, to clarify, and this is part of the reason, if you see in the top right corner over there, that financial independence counter, I said I worked in the nuclear industry. I did not say anything about working in the nuclear power industry. Can you put a price on peace? Here we go. Come on! What do you think I'm broke? Ha! If there's a new way, I'll be the first in line. But it better work this time. What do you mean I hurt your feelings? I didn't know you had any feelings. What do you mean I ain't kind? Just not your kind. How long have I been working out for? About 15 years. What are you just talking about today? Nuclear holocaust? That's cute. It ain't gonna happen. I would know. That's a far lean forward. Well, that's kind of the point. It's a bent over row. You're supposed to be bent over. Little country, Belgium and Germany is a secret superpower. Oh yeah, no, the Netherlands, it's wild. Netherlands is by far and away the most agriculturally productive country in anywhere. Like per unit of land, the Netherlands gets an insane amount of agricultural productivity. The bicycle, they have fully embraced, and as a result, they can literally have chocolate sprinkles for breakfast and eat bacon-wrapped cheese wheels, and they'll still look really good. I love the Netherlands. Absolutely love the Dutch. Traffic engineers, water engineers, yup. I really don't understand why, with a country with engineers that good at their jobs, they haven't embraced nuclear. Oh well. Especially if I was the Dutch, I'd do what the Polish are doing, and I love the fact that the Polish are doing this. They're putting a bunch of new nuclear power plants right on the German border just to piss off Germany, and I love that. I love that level of petty. 15 years means you're a pro. What is your opinion when? When to we work out? What do you mean? Can you elaborate on that question, Titan? Yeah, no, the Netherlands is absolutely a secret global power. The Dutch have huge ports at Rotterdam. I mean, you've got the International Criminal Court in The Hague, or The Hague. I don't know how to say that. Dutch is a confusing language. I don't understand Dutch as a language, but it's a great country. No, we in the US, we can learn quite a lot from them. Certainly a lot more than we can learn from the fucking Germans. I have a problem with Germany. You're sitting here telling me about how important it is to, get on our climate change agenda, start cutting emissions, and you're the ones prematurely shutting down your nuclear plants to burn lignite coal. Fuck off, douchebags. Bullshit. There we go. All right. Let's do another one. As a language, it's cousin to German. No, that's not cool. I'm not hating on the Germans that much, but bruh, you're gonna sit here and tell me you care about climate change when you're shutting down nuclear power plants to burn more coal? Fuck off. Those US politicians that just kidnap and steal Dutch engineers to build my entire society. We have good American engineers, all right? The problem is People don't realize just how bad the US regulatory burden is on doing stuff that's actually good for the country. I mean, that's a nice, respectful way, and found it happy and intelligent man. Were you specifically trying to imitate a skunk with your haircut? I like the mohawk, and it's funny you mentioned that. The reason I have a mohawk is because I did it as a challenge to the community. I said I would get a mohawk haircut if I think it was at the time, if we had reached 1,200 followers by the end of, it was either January or February this year. We did it, so I lived up to my word, and I decided I liked it. I've been thinking about shaving the mustache, though, so if y'all have opinions on the mustache, voice them. Because I really don't have a whole lot of data to support whether or not my community would or would not like me doing that. Yeah, Tally, you're good. You're good, Tally. But, see, yeah, I get, the mustache is polarizing. For every person that loves it, there are people that hate it. There's no in between. All right, now we're going to do a wide grip on this one. We'll do this, wide grip and underhand wide grip. We're going to go for reps here. Come on, come on. Oh, lightheaded. Don't shave it, it'll take you fucking forever to grow it back. That would be the point. If I shaved it, it's not coming back. Rhode Island's my least favorite ditty. This is true. Neon Reagan, have you ever watched the YouTuber Not Just Bikes? No, I get Rotterdam's not as bike friendly as the rest of the Netherlands, but I was only referencing its ports. Rotterdam is very famous. It's a huge port city. I could be wrong on that. Maybe I'm thinking of some other Dutch city, but I thought Rotterdam was the big industrial port city of the Netherlands. Hey, Karaoke Nightmare. Thanks for first time chat. I love it when people come in for the first time and give me, that's useful information actually. It's another person who likes the mustache column. Right now, you sort of look like a bodybuilder from the 20s. The mustache helps complete the image. It's funny you mention that. One of the things people say I've got that's really good on my body is my pecs. The reason for that is because I've resurrected and placed into one of my workouts an old exercise that stretches the rib cage out. You see that barrel-chested look, and that is called the Raider pull. It kind of fell off in the 60s and the 70s. It was very popular before that, and it works. The reason I like Rotterdam is a good example of North American cities can convert over to people, be more bike-friendly, pedestrian-friendly. Yeah, see, exactly. Rotterdam's not perfect, but compare it to the US, and it looks pretty good. Last year, he seems interesting. Thank you for telling me about him. Yeah, definitely watch his videos. You'll appreciate him a lot. So Not Just Bikes is a guy who grew up in Ontario in Canada, and because he was so fed up with the way North American cities are poorly planned, he moved to the Netherlands. I believe he lives in Amsterdam now. Yeah, it looks like it works. I appreciate that. Today we're not working that. We're not working chest though. We're working lats. We've got one more set of rows. We're working lats, we're working buys, we're working traps. You got one more set of rows. We're gonna do vert flies. We'll start hitting bicep curls. We're gonna carry on from there. I do need go for a little Alice in Chains. Here we go. Two, three. Come on. Come on. Ah! That was pretty trash, that last rep. All right. Thought it was from London. No, yeah, it's I'm sorry, I should have said that. London, Ontario, not London, UK. He actually makes that joke a lot. He calls his city fake London because it's so poorly laid out. Yeah, he's from London, Ontario, Canada. Temperature's definitely elevated already. Yeah, 88. And come on. All right, I got 2 more sets on that. We'll do sets of 10, that's pretty good. Be right back, y'all. However, there are 2 things I will say about my little rural slice of the Carolinas here. First, that you Europeans certainly can't make or have, is I can go outside and piss in my own backyard and not have to worry about anybody else seeing, like I just did. And the second is I have a moonshine plug and y'all don't. This is the best damn moonshine I've ever had. I've had a fair amount of moonshine. I am a southerner. Have you seen some of America's museum buildings? Oh yeah. When is leg day, as all the internet calls it now? So I do a push-pull leg split. So we did push yesterday, pull is today. I would do leg tomorrow, but Sunday's a rest day. Probably do a little bit of like maybe some boxing or high intensity interval training, but leg day will be Monday. Push Tuesday, pull Wednesday. Those 3 will be done at my site gym. Thursday will be a rest day, so leg day should be next Friday. Early America is European inspired. That's very true, actually. So one good example of this is the city of Augusta, Georgia, which is not that far from me. Same with Savannah, Georgia. These were laid out by the British Plus, exercising must mean you save a lot of money and energy. Oh yeah. I thought about installing an air conditioner in here because it does sap my ability to get a good workout. I won't lie to you. But James Oglethorpe was a British colonist who came over and established both Savannah and Augusta along the Savannah River in the great state of Georgia, just across from the river from me. So, yeah, there are some cities that still have that dense walkable core. They're just harder to find. They're a lot easier to find on the eastern half of the United States because that's where they were colonized. Good luck finding that in, say, Phoenix. You won't. You do HIIT workouts? Not often, but occasionally. The trouble is, again, due to the elevated temperature in the garage, that's harder. American takes on European castles and mansions and manor houses. I agree with that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the old towns, making everything too wide. So, conservative, all right? Go look up downtown Charleston, South Carolina, or downtown Savannah, Georgia, and you'll see something that maybe makes, it'll make you a bit happier. Do you do SAFE workouts? What's that? I try to stay safe while I'm working out, if that's what you're asking. Does SAFE stand for something? Oh, all right. I gotta do a set of hammer curls. But yeah, the difference between my neck of the woods and y'all's neck of the woods, two, and this is one where the Europeans are just wrong. I can own a gun. Yeah, for anybody here who's from Europe, yes, I am the stereotypical American when it comes to guns. I'm not, I don't have a million of them, but I very much do believe in the right to bear arms. That's an innate part of being an American. It's core to our national identity. I do believe in that. Shall not be infringed. All right, hammer curls. I've been to Georgia, I have photos. Hell yeah. Push and pull, and how much and how often do you eat? Depends if I'm on cut, maintenance, or bulk. Right now I'm on maintenance, but I kind of want to lose. So I was on vacation the last 3 out of the last 4 weeks, so put on a little bit of extra fat. So I'm on a sort of a mini cut. Right now I'm trying to go 2,400 calories. I usually, on an average day, burn between 3,000 and 4,000. So if I run 2,400, I'll have a deficit, burn off a few pounds a week. Arizona's a shithole, man. We weren't meant to live in a place like that. There's no water, it's extremely hot. A city like Phoenix shouldn't exist. The river Phoenix is literally built on is called the Salt River. There is not enough fresh water to sustain that city. And Las Vegas is even worse. I own a shotgun, among other things. For those of you who have been on my Discord, y'all have seen my gun. I won't say whether or not I have more. Shall not be infringed. Yeah. On my birthday. Did you have to white trash around here? Veer, welcome on in. You invert that Veer from CFP risk by chance? So, Neon, the reason Vegas exists is because a guy by the name of Bugsy Siegel, who is a higher up in the mobs of New York City, planted a city there to take advantage of the looser gambling laws that existed since the 1800s. That's why. It was built by the mafia. Organized crime built Las Vegas. It's a shithole. I really dislike Las Vegas. And yeah, I agree. Vegas shouldn't exist. Now, if you ever end up having to go to that city, the good news is there are things you can do that are actually fun. The Hoover Dam is a modern engineering miracle, and everyone should go check it out. Icebox Canyon and any of the mountains and canyons to the west of the city. Fantastic to hike in, chill out at, and Chinatown ain't bad either. But stay the fuck away from the Strip. It's awful. Viva Las Vegas. Went twice to see Celine Dion in the Hoover Dam. Human history, human cells have started every separate body of water. At some point in the U.S. just got lazy and started plopping random civilizations in the middle of the desert. It wasn't the U.S., man. I told you. Organized crime built Las Vegas. The reason Las Vegas exists is because a bunch of mob guys in the 40s and 50s said, here we go, here's some cheap land and a place with really lax gambling laws. Let's build a city here. Don't blame all of America for the mess that is Las Vegas. Blame organized crime for that. Literally, the city was built by the mob. Good to see you. Welcome back, dear. Some here is Vegas like Chicago, a city built by organized crime. Nah, Chicago wasn't just built by organized crime. Yeah, Al Capone got into there in the 20s, but Chicago was a big city ever before Prohibition, which is what really sprung organized crime into the big time. Why was that? Chicago was the hub for almost every single railroad going west into the frontier through the late 1800s. The city burned down in a fire in 1871, and by 1880, it was much bigger. No, that's historically inaccurate. Chicago wasn't built by organized crime. And that's why Chicago's laid out a lot better than Las Vegas is. Chicago was built, large chunks of it were built before the automobile took over. That's why Chicago and Las Vegas are built so differently. I know who Al Capone is. Believe me, the Volstead Act is the single dumbest thing this country's ever done, and that's saying something. That was an economic self-inflicted gunshot. Shaving underarm thrusters, getting into bodybuilding. I don't ever go on Instagram. I don't have one, and I never will, because Zuckerberg's an ass. So I wouldn't know what the trends are. I just naturally am not very hairy under here, so I've never shaved my pits, because I haven't had a reason to. I would say, same thing with my chest. I don't shave my chest. It just doesn't grow hair very fast. The reason I'm not very hairy, and I keep my hair short too, is it's too hot and humid here to do anything else. It's a thermal efficiency thing. It's getting hot here. It's gonna cross 90 before I'm done. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, Chicago and Las Vegas are two very different cities. Chicago was heavily influenced by organized crime. Las Vegas was literally built by it. And given the choice, I don't like either city. I would live in Chicago 1,000 times over before Las Vegas. Not even close. I'm sure I just made all my fans from Illinois very happy with that statement, because apart from having lots of nuclear reactors and Chicago being a dense, walkable city, Illinois is fucked up. If it weren't for Louisiana, Illinois would be the single most corrupt state in the Union. No more than half of the American Songbook hold brass band arrangements. That's cool. Prohibition still exists. U.S. says you have to be 21 to drink unless you drive at young ages. This is true. And you can thank Ronald Reagan for that. The age of alcohol consumption in the United States was left up to the states until the 1980s. And that's when it became more or less federally enforced at 21. Did you know that Europe introduced drinking? Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware. Since it seems to work here, it could possibly work there. Not at the moment. The problem is, right, if you're a teenager in the United States and you grow up in the suburbs, you have no option but to drive places because it's so spread out. There's no other choice. So getting to school, you know, going to meet friends, anything like that, it's not a feasible option in many places to use the bus because there isn't one, or to bike because there's no infrastructure for it, or to walk because sometimes there's not even any sidewalks. So what I would tell you is that you'd need to update the infrastructure before going about lowering the drinking age below 18. The drinking age should be 18, though. I'm 100% on board with that. The idea of the drinking age is 21, yet you can volunteer, fight, and die for your country at 18 is not right. That's wrong. All right, let's get some curls going. Stealing my mother's Baileys. We've all done something stupid like that, and myself included. I stole my parents' Jim Beam. And I'll say I've been very critical of the United States on this stream, but I want you to see what I'm looking at every time I'm hitting these weights. Yes, I am a patriotic American, and I love this country. Love the state I'm in, too. Be proud of where you're from. And I'm proud of being a Southerner, but I would never fly the Confederate flag. The South has its problems, just in the same way that any other place does, but I do love it here. I've thrived here in Dixieland. There's a lot to be said for that. It's 245 pounds, somewhere around 110 kilos. God bless America. Yeah, that's right. I'd sing it right now, but I'm just trying to keep my breath. Children have to drive in the States, though. Why do they have to? Were the parents interested? The teens were dependents. The parents drove them everywhere. They do, but look, that only works if you've got a parent who's not constantly at work. If you're working class in this country, that really isn't an option because, you know, you got both parents at work. Teens got to rely on the bus if it's there. It's tough. Why do teens need to really drive, especially in the American psyche? I agree, teens shouldn't have to drive, but that's more or less what the infrastructure demands. The infrastructure needs to be fixed. Especially need to add bike paths and walking paths as much as possible. And modal filters, things like bike paths that connect to cul-de-sacs, so that way, or sorry, I should say cul-de-sac, and that way it becomes a lot easier to traverse neighborhoods without having to walk on busy arterials, also known as stroads. All right. Yeah, I'm sweating like a greased pig right now. It is very warm in here today. I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but it's just, this is hard. Ah, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Oh yeah, the blokes drink quite badly. Tell you who also does that, likes to act like they're better than us, the Swedes. The Swedes drink like that. They'll be sober, bone stock sober, all until Friday night, and then they will get fucking wasted. All the Nordic countries do that. The healthier way to drink is the way the French, the Italians do. A wine at lunch or a wine at dinner. It doesn't have to be wine, but one glass more frequently. A build an alternative society that's walkable and excellent free public change. It sounds awful. I'm sorry, man, for I hear it for you, bro. I agree, Liam. I don't need your sympathy, but yeah, it's fucked up. We're getting better, though. There are, hope springs eternal. There are a lot of places, as, you know, as has been said, that parts of the United States are trying to become more walkable because they're reading the writing on the wall from a city budget's perspective. Endless suburbia is a Ponzi scheme. It cannot sustain itself. It's too much infrastructure cost and not enough density to support said infrastructure. Okay, let's do the other side. Man, it is a lot hotter today than normal. It's 89 in here right now. Let's go for... Ooh, Achilles' Last Stand. Good song. Good song. Long one, too. Start wrapping up some sets. One, two, three. Here we go. Suburbs really need help. Look at Utrecht. That township is doing suburbs really well. Yes, I agree. It is. There are good suburbs, but in the United States, most of what makes those suburbs good is often illegal to build due to things like, as you have seen with your aunt, parking restrictions, bullshit little zoning laws like that. And the devil really is in the details here. It's different from city to city, suburb to suburb, and state to state. Buses treated. Yeah. So the buses are usually treated a little bit better than that here in the States than the UK. Vienna and Denmark also have really great suburbs too. Yeah, but Denmark's good enough at a bunch of things. They don't need to be any more snooty than they already are. All the Nordic countries have they have a superiority complex. It's really, ugh, I don't like it. The Dutch aren't like that. The Dutch are chill, so give the praise to the Dutch. They're better. And look, I'm just full on. Denmark, you don't have stroopwafels, and the stroopwafel is objectively fucking amazing. It's a waffle with caramel in the middle. What more could you want? California used to build bungalow courts. You'll see more of those across the nations. As long as they're not on cul-de-sac. If they're on cul-de-sac, you gotta have modial filters, so that way it's not just a giant subsidized driveway. California is a basket case, though. California has some very unique challenges. California is probably one of the places I'd want to live least in the United States. There's parts of California I love, but it's fucked up. I think it's cul-de-sac because it's a French word. I think you put the S at the end of cul. I could be wrong about that. Can someone look up the plural of cul-de-sac? Because if it's cul-de-sacs, I'll go ahead and say it that way. I don't know. Alright, so you got 5 sets of shrugs done, 6 sets of buys, and 8 sets of backs. That's 19. So 2/3 of the way done, or more or less. Plural cul-de-sac or cul-de-sacs. Okay, so it could be either. Okay. Well, good to know. Dude, I need to wash this. This is nasty. Alright, last set of shrugs. Come on. But God, I love Led Zeppelin. Oh. By the way, if y'all like talking about this kind of stuff, y'all really should be on my Discord. There's a lot of fun conversations I have about this. I have a fairly international audience because I stream here in the mornings in the US, which means a lot of Europeans and Asians will show up in my channel. And if you'd like to meet other people, you may find someone from your home country. For instance, Mr. Conservative, the guy who did all the artwork for my channel, like my logo, he's British. He's actually really good. I missed him. He needs to show up again. I need to make more Brexit jokes. That's usually what summons him. Yeah, it makes me want US to abolish front lawns. They are! Dude, I hate my front lawn. I wish I could get rid of all the grass. I'm thinking about xeriscaping it, but the thing is, grass is what naturally grows here in the southeast. Well, I will say, so, while I'm not a fan of front lawns, because I have one, I'm trying to make it as naturally friendly as possible. And credit to my roommate here, we've worked on this together. For instance, we planted native wildflowers, removed an invasive Bradford pear tree, removed an invasive mimosa tree, planted a native palmetto, a Carolina palmetto, I think a sage palm, and Georgia longleaf pine. So, yeah, we have a front lawn and it kind of sucks. There's not much I can do with it, but I can't just remove it from my property. But I'm planting native stuff there to try and make it a little bit more friendly to the native fauna. Right next to my house is a forest. It's an unused lot, so, thankfully, I think the butterflies and the bees kind of like my yard too. I see plenty of them. So, I'm trying my best on that one. I'm making the best of a bad situation. By the way, the Georgia longleaf pine is a beautiful tree, and if you live in the deep south, plant one. It's just a fun tree. It's a pine tree, but with fuzzy long needles. They're wonderful. And they smell great too. They smell like, as you'd expect, fresh pine. So, strongly recommend. If you live in the deep south, the Georgia longleaf pine is a beautiful tree. No one in the right room uses their front gardens without signing decent fencing here. People are too nosy. That's a pity. I have a flower garden in my front yard, and then my roommate, she's got the green thumb. She's got a vegetable plot in the back. And then I've got scuppernong vines growing in the back too. So I grow my own grapes and I make my own wine. So you can do environmentally friendly things like that here. I have a big old compost pile. Again, I don't live the world's most climate change friendly life, but I try to be a bit more conscientious than the average American. I'll be honest. I think I am. All right, I'm gonna do another set. Oh. Yeah, I'm just absolutely roasting in here right now. And hey, for what it's worth, those of you who are serious about climate change, I don't have an air conditioner in this garage. I'm suffering in here. I'm doing my part. Actually, I will say, South Carolina's electrical grid is very clean. We get about, I think, 25% of our power from hydro and 55% from nuclear. So I think it's about 80% of our electric grid does not come from fossil fuels. So credit to the Palmetto State there. Come on. All right, let's do some lat raises. You need 30-pound dumbbells for that. All right, so we are at 8 sets of back, 2, 4, 7 sets of biceps, and 6 sets of flex. We're at 70% of the way through the workout. Can you not remove things from your property? I can. Oh, want my front line to be deeded back to the townships and gate holding on the property. Well, yes, that sort of thing. Niam, frankly, I think I could do a better job with my lawn than the public would. So, I mean, based on the fact that I've already planted 3 native trees, a native flower garden, 2 native flower gardens actually, and a vegetable plot, I think I'm managing it better than the public would. Satisfaction of fresh cut grass on a Saturday morning. My grass is very much unkempt. Actually, I need to. This is my one little indulgence. I pay in the summertime because it's so hot here. I pay my neighbor to use her big riding mower and cut it. Also because they need the money, so easy win. She also does weed whacking, so it works rather well. This destroys a lot of nature to build one American subdivision. Yes. All right. Yeah, that's true. The only real issue with my property is that the mosquitoes are unbearable here. And that's just a reality of living in the South. Okay. Love this temperature in here now. 89. Yeah. We're struggling to finish here. This is tough. I'm gonna continue. Got lat raises next. So, yeah, this should do. Federal government, national government can seize property from farm owners or reappropriate something for already stealing from them. Eminent domain is a weird law. I really gotta focus and finish this before I overheat. Let's go. I'm showing you all the back end so you can see my lats, by the way. There we go. Talk of days for which we sit and wait, all will be revealed. Da, 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 da. Come on, finish. I want that butterfly last, man. How bad do I fucking want it? Suffer through the heat. We got this. Let's go. Damn it. Oh. Much better. 45 degrees. Come on. Finish. Finish. Come on. Where is he? No quit. No quit. We're gonna set a concentration curl. Give my lats a break. And I'm sorry, Neiman conservative. I'm having trouble engaging in this conversation the way I normally would. Right now I'm kind of having to focus on just getting these sets completed, finish my workout strong, and try not to overheat. So you'll have to excuse me for that. Could use some motivation. Thank you very much, Big Red. I need a little motivation. Just try and finish before passing out and overeating. Let's go. Come on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Come on, get that pump. Nice. Punching pens in the mouth. Hell yeah, like Tom Wilson. My man. You got re-signed? Oh yeah. Oh, I'm suffering right now. This is not easy. Cashier is a good song for right now. Just gotta keep going. No quit. Come on! Come on. Finish. Three more. All right, see how many we got done. 2, 6, 8, 11 back, 2, 4, 7, 8, 8 by, and 6 shrugs. That's 6, 14, 25. 5 sets to go. Come on. 7. Come on, 3 more. Get up there. Oh my God. Oh. Yeah, a little rooster by Alice in Chains. Let's go. Finish. Ava, good to see you. We're suffering right now. One more. That's right, never surrender, never retreat. Oh my God. All right, so we've got 5 sets left on to do, or something like that. Do incline curls next. Ain't found a way to kill me yet. Eyes burn from stinging sweat. Hey, Mias, we are welcome to the bullpen. Thanks for coming in. Yep, we have officially passed 90 degrees, ladies and gentlemen. It is hot here. It's about 32 C, and it may not sound as bad as you'd think, but it's extremely humid, and I'm lifting weights. This is tough. Army Green was no safe bet. The bullets screamed to me from somewhere. Come on. 12. Train and stay and remain the same. DMX, Rough Riders anthem, some extra motivation to finish with. All right, when Rooster's done, I'll play that. I'm just trying not to die here, honestly, at this point. Yeah, they come to snow. Engage in any self-defense training. No. In general, I'm a big enough target to where most criminals they'll pick someone else. Do you use creatine? Yes. Creatine's a supplement that's proved to work, and it's also natural, and it's like one of the few things I don't get drug tested for. I mean, because why would you? Creatine's found in like fish and eggs and shit. They spit on me in my homeland. Liar, sending pictures of my boy. Got my pills against mosquito death. My buddy's breathing his dying breath. Oh God, please, won't you help me make it through? Oh, my biceps are shot. We ain't fucking done. No way. No fucking way. We ain't quitting now. How bad do you want it? This is where it really comes down to. You ever creatine-based lasagna? The hell is that? Never heard of that. No, I just had a little creatine monohydrate. That hurt. Banged the weight into my shin. Just a little creatine-based monohydrate I put in my protein shakes. Creatine this week, my weight jumped up 2.5 pounds. So creatine doesn't make you bulk, it just makes you retain a little bit more water. So you're not any fatter than you were. It's just water weight. When you start taking creatine, you're gonna look a little bit bigger, but it's because more water is being retained in your muscles than it otherwise would be. So, yeah. I ain't heard no bell rock, that's right. Okay, what was the song? DMX, Run Rider's Anthem. Okay. I like a little DMX, that's a good choice. I need it. Thank you, Big Red, as always, you rock. Rough Riders Anthem. Let's do this. DMX, the king of angry rap. That's one more set. Team needs to go to the highest football team, high school football team to lose to the game. That's good. All right, let me make sure I do this right. 4, 10, 13, 16, 19, 21, 23, 26, 28, wait a minute. Is this right? 6 on traps. 2, 4, 6, 9, 11 on buys. 2, 6, 8, 11, 13. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. 2 more sets, 2 more sets. Creatine lasagna. How is it similar to cannabis lasagna or pot brownies? Creatine doesn't get you high. Yeah. If you load creatine though, you can expect a weight increase. Yeah. It is. Yeah. There's the evidence. There we go. Yeah. It says if you can't make it out, it says 90 degrees, 90.2. go Cemetery Gates for the last song. We got 2 more sets. 2 more sets, that's it. Gym is my basement, so most temperature controlled place in the house. My gym is in my garage, it's the least. And unfortunately, that means it's just hot, and you gotta learn to get used to it. Do you hate all billionaires? If I can't follow you on Instagram, I like you on following Snapchat, like watching videos on there, so much better than TikTok, I do reels for YouTube shorts. I only give my Snapchat to people I meet in real life, just a rule of mine. If you really want more and you want to hang out with me, dude, that's where you want to be, right there. Check out my Discord. Seriously, you're gonna love it there, man. I can already tell. We got loads of cool channels. Like you talked about infrastructure and all that shit, dude, you're gonna love a lot of my fellow community. You'll find like-minded individuals and other individuals that may not agree with you, but are very smart and fun to talk to. Do I have a Twitter? Never. I will never, ever get a Twitter. I've resisted that since day one. And frankly, I actually like Elon Musk, not because he bought Twitter, but because he's inadvertently destroying both Twitter and his own wealth. Frankly, that's fantastic. Continue the good work, Elon. Twitter was a cancer on society, and the fact that he's ruining it is a good thing. See, I'm different from the Elon fanboys. The only reason I like him is because he's failing at his own goal here. Someone needed to take Twitter down. Dude, I work with plutonium for a living, and even I think Twitter's too radioactive. What should that tell you? Hey, Leroy Crash, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the bullpen. 2 more sets, come on! Strong like bull, strong like bull. Sips on lots of crushed ice and peach tea. Come on. I ain't pushing it, I'm pulling it. But yes, I should be pushing it. I get what you mean. Come on. Ten, 11, 12, 13. What's Twitter? You talk about X. Yes, X, Twitter. It's the same fucking stupid company. Fuck them. I took my youth and gave it all away. I'm gonna go for 30 pounds. This is our burnout set. We're gonna get this as hard as we can and then we're done. I don't care about exercise. I can't be bothered to call it the new name. People know what I'm talking about. No need to be pedantic. Fine, X, whatever. X is, either way, X is dumb. There, how about that? X is dumb, X is more radioactive than the stuff I work with at my day job. Hell no, I refuse to use it. I have enough friends to care about and talk to. Why do I need more through Facebook? If people want to search me out, they can do the effort and join my Discord. I know that sounds entitled, but I only have 24 hours in the day. Between this, my day job, and all the other chores of day-to-day life, I can't be bothered to get into stupid, inane arguments on a platform that's designed to make people hostile to each other. Camera's at the wrong angle. X is bad, both the drug and the platform. Sure. All right, let's hit this. Come on. Keep it. Good form, good form. Come on. Finish. Finish. I'm neither an Elon fan nor an Elon hater. I just hated Twitter and anything that makes it worse, which is what X appears to have become, is good. That's it. We're done in here. That was my burnout. Look at this pump. Look at this fucking pump. Let's see, finishing temp. 91 degrees. It is hot in here. I'm drenched in sweat. We're going inside. Were you getting into online arguments? You haven't experienced? No, that's the thing. That's all I hear from my friends. That's all I see when people show me shit on Twitter. It's dumb arguments and hot takes. Why do I want more of that in my life? Strong like bull. No, I absolutely refuse to use X. There's no compromise on this one. No. I would sooner use Facebook or Instagram, and I will never ever use either of those. It's also an OPSEC thing. As I already stated, I work in the nuclear industry. I don't need people coming and looking up my shit. No more than they already do from this and from, damn it! And from Discord. Deleted my Twitter account 1 year ago. There's an encroachment of bad grammar everywhere, and I don't need slang or bad grammar. It's life I developed. And what I did, considered poorly written responses or poorly written tweets in my aggregated feed. Bingo. Only negative shit on our seeing was Selena Gomez debate whether her hair was black or blonde. Exactly, that's stupid celebrity shit. Why would I want more of that in my life? That sounds terrible to listen to. Okay. Cooling off. Twitter feed is just shit posts and jokes. It is what you make it. I don't want that. I don't even want shit posts and jokes. I can get enough of that on my Discord. I spend enough time online as it is. It's a waste of time. Twitter/X is a waste of time. Don't use it. There, that's just my opinion. You can disagree. Healthy disagreement's totally fine, but I can't stand it. I don't want to use it. Most social media is a waste of time. The only reason I use Discord and I use Twitch is because I feel like this community is wholesome and healthy and fun. If it ever stops being that, I'll stop streaming. Only use things insofar as they have utility to you. Shitpost and jokes. Friends with Tree and 5. Yep. I know urinating Tree and 5 Points vids quite well. We've hung out a lot. We're pretty good friends. All right, so I'm gonna take just a minute to recover, get some air, and then we're gonna hit handstand push-ups, and then we'll hit abs. Celebrities deserve to be supremely ignored as far as I'm concerned, and think about how much effort on most social media is dedicated to those celebrities. You know, there is a very good reason I don't use any of those platforms. It's a waste of time, and it's toxic. It's not worth it. You're much better off, if you want a wholesome community where you can have good discussions and learn things, dude, come check out my Discord. Frankly, yes, I think it's better than a lot of places on Twitter or Facebook. I'm not gonna say all of them because that would be arrogant, but on average, yeah, I think so. Never stop streaming. Streaming's too much fun. I don't know. I love hanging out with you guys. I love streaming. There are times where it pisses me off, but for the most part, I really do enjoy it. It is fun. All right. Whew.
Well, that was a lot. I'm going to add my macros for the protein in, which was 380 calories, 64 grams of protein, 8 grams of fat, 16 grams of carbs. If I ever get thousands of viewers like Hasanabi, I don't know who that is, and streaming becomes unfun or toxic, I would just start banning people. I mean, you don't want that either, because then you can get an echo chamber, a bubble where everybody's just like, the only thing people will do is like, you know, do nothing but lavishly praise you. And that's not good either. Healthy criticism is one thing, but toxicity is another. And there have been people who have come on here. Every so often you'll get some dumbass who comes on here and like speed runs and like tries to spam the N-word. And it's like, oh, okay, insta-ban that guy. Or there's a couple. I actually made a political compass meme out of this. I'll post that in chat, actually. This one's pretty funny. Y'all will enjoy this. Hang on. Y'all will enjoy this. To ban myself for just sitting there and going for something to eat and not coming back for hours. We track your macros. I track my macros. Yes. Absolutely. Strongly recommend doing so yourself if you're looking to cut. If you're looking to cut or bulk, really. I would say so. I want to grab something real quick. Submitted. There we go. Check this out. Nia, you'll enjoy this. And I only use Reddit for a very small niche number of subreddits. I don't, for the most part, Reddit sucks ass too. I try not to stay on Reddit very much. Told my fitness guru to stay away from tracking my macros. They just told me to eyeball everything. Well, you know, different strokes for different folks, but I found that macro tracking works very, very well for me. If I track it, it's right. So losing fat is science, not art. It is a number of how many calories in deficit are you running and how much protein are you ingesting into your body to keep your muscle mass that's already there, to retain it, so you're not burning muscle. Speaking of CFB, will new season of Aggie RCFB ball comics be up and running? Probably not. My interest in college football, rather understandably, is at an all-time low. I do have one small comic in the works, but that's probably gonna be it. I'm trying my best to distance myself from college football because it wasn't healthy for me last year. I made some really stupid choices, some really bad decisions, and you know, I'm on here constantly talking about making good decisions and, you know, being the best version of yourself that you could be, and college football doesn't help me with that. So I'm trying to adjust my relationship with college football. It's not easy, and frankly, it's difficult because a lot of my friends are shanghaiing me into different college football related things. That's why I stayed up so late last night, but you know, it's a gradual process. Anyway, who wants to see me do some handstand push-ups? Can I get some hype for that? Get some handstand push-up hype in chat, please. This we go. Don't have anything else I need to write in here, so this will go over here for now. Handstand push-ups, let's go. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna turn on the light so y'all can get better lighting when I do them. All right, handstand push-ups, kick ass. Let's do this. Oh. All right. I'm still working with this. BullMuscle, do you remember it for me? Should I be tracking macros? I've always been told it's bad to obsess over that stuff. Now I'm questioning myself. Also, I appreciate you bringing up some conflicting info to my worldview. I might start tracking macros now if that's what you recommend. Niam, so the question is, what's your goal? It really depends on what you're trying to do as to how seriously you need to take care of your macros. Where are you currently at and where do you want to be? I need a little bit more information if you want me to give you more custom tailored advice to you. Growing up, my family were NBA people. Big Red, no. Niam's from New Jersey. By the way, Dodge.
Yo.
This guy here, his aunt lives in Central Jersey and was successful in getting a minimum parking restriction overturned to start a small business. It's going to be a hair salon and a coffee shop.
Nice.
That's pretty dope, actually.
Yeah.
Also, is Middlesex County Central Jersey?
I would consider it Central Jersey, although with all the New York fans there, geographically it's central, but culturally it's north, is what I would say.
All right, well, you heard it from the most New Jersey person I know. My goal is hypertrophy. American rugby is confusing to everyone outside of the U.S. Dude, rugby's a better sport, but American football is still great. You can like both. I personally have to track my macros so my eyes deceive me. Humans are very bad. We're very bad at eyeballing stuff. I know I am. I'm terrible at it. Now, I don't use a scale for everything I do, but like if what I'll usually do is like make a big pot of food, like if I make a big pot of curry or chili or something like that, I'll write down the entire macros of what I'm making. That's calories, protein, fat, carbs, and then I will go and say, okay, well I had about, an eighth of the pot or a tenth of the pot or a fourth of the pot, and divide that total number each by 4, and now I've got how much I ate. And as long as you end up at that total 100% amount, well, it doesn't matter from day to day if you're slightly off. Falvarez, Santos, it's not football if you touch the ball with your hand. We call that soccer here in the U.S. Yeah, you can blame the British for the reason we call it soccer, because they came up with the term. Just saying, UK, that one's on you. You might not like it, but it is. As far as, oh yeah, I used to play rugby. Rugby is painful, but it's a really fun sport. Also, I will be honest with you. I love the quote from King of the Hill. Soccer was invented by European ladies to keep themselves busy while their husbands did the cooking. There you go. That's pretty much, that's how we view soccer. Look, there's a reason when I was growing up in high school, and yes, I played on the American football team because that's what guys in high school tend to do. There's a reason we called all the soccer players grass fairies, because that's what they were. Look, I have no interest in soccer until the acting and the flopping goes away. That shit pisses me off. And the NBA is just as bad these days. If you're constantly like if you're pretending, like if someone touches you and you act like you've been shot to try and get a penalty, I hate that. And that's so common in soccer, and it makes me not want to watch the sport. It's not toughness, it's dishonest. I don't like it. So, and every soccer fan I know will admit, yeah, that's a problem with the sport. It's played with your feet. Soccer isn't a real word. Well, so soccer came from the term, because it used to be called association football, and it got I think shortened to ASSOC, a sock, and then that became soccer. Ask the British. They're the ones who invented the term, not us. We just call it soccer because it's an inferior sport. Look, if I want to watch a group of players not use their hands to move an object into a goal across a field, I'll watch ice hockey because it's the same concept, but there's hitting, and there's toughness, and there's honor, and there's grit, and there's determination, and soccer has none of that. American football should be called handball? No, there's already a sport called handball. Do you want to know the reason American football is called football? Now, clearly you don't know. The reason is because the original length of the football, the actual ball, was 1 foot long. So you can blame the British for that as well, for their stupid measurement system. In other words, you can blame the UK for all of this. All right, handstand push-ups time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. By the way, and if you guys like what I do, and if you want to hang out with me more after hours, do please check out that Discord. It's where you'll find me. 2, 3, up. Dizzy. The Brits invented, I'm not saying what they call it, I'm saying the Brits invented the term soccer. You can blame them for it. You can look it up. The Brits invented the term soccer. Soccer was a term invented in the UK. Fan bases European leagues are way more radioactive than NFL fans.
No, the only sport in the or the only sport in the United States that gets as rabid as European soccer fans is college football. Brits use the metric system like every modern Western nation, excluding the U.S. Yes, but they invented the imperial system, and not everything the British do is in metric. The British still use imperial for. It's weird. They'll use imperial for a few things. Look, show. Thanks for the first time chat. Gonna have to dodge. Can you delete that comment?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you gotta. I appreciate that. Stick around, Luck Show. Thanks for the first time chat, but please don't try and get me banned from Twitch by being that explicit. America's weird for using the imperial. I agree. I don't like the imperial system, but the British invented it, and the British invented the concept of the foot, and that's what we use to measure the ball. So blame the British. All right. So now we got abs. Today's an even day, so we're gonna do holds. 2, 3, yep. This is 6 inches. This is another American term, I guess, or imperial term, or British term, or whatever. But you keep your heels 6 inches off the ground, and you use your abs to hold them there. Keep your knees extended. Is your foot as long as a foot? My feet are almost exactly 1 foot long, actually. They're slightly shorter. I wear size 13s normally in the US, which I believe is 14 in the UK? 12 in the UK? I forget which way it is. Well, I'm not defending the Brits anyway. Good, you shouldn't. But, like, just, you know, for where it's worth, you can't blame us for the concept of the foot as a unit of measurement. Now, you can blame us for continuing to use it, but we didn't invent it. We didn't start that fire. Actually, the reason we don't use metric is also because of the British. There was a ship that was going to come over from France in I think it was during the War of 1812. It actually got captured by British pirates at the time, and that ship actually held units, the official SI units of measurement that the French wanted to give to the U.S. to convert to metric, and it got lost at sea, and the U.S. never got them. A fun fact for you right there. So really, blame the blokes for this one. All right, come on. 2 more minutes. Actually, not even. Side planks in 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And side plank. See, I can convert square foot to square meters pretty easily. My house is roughly 1,100 square foot, which is, I believe, about 100 square meters. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Switch. Oh. How's my back muscles looking now? They should be looking popping pretty good. Dodge, can you tell?
Yeah, your back very much has abs.
Yeah, baby. Ten more seconds. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Oh. Whew. I was told in middle school a meter was 3 feet. I mean, it's roughly 3 feet. If you don't have to be very precise, that's a good enough estimate. It's not accurate for telling people height. No, that is not. It's weird as U.S. schools teach your kids Celsius in science class, but making them use Fahrenheit in life. It's true. Billy Joel might want his song back, yeah. So, it's actually false. US already made this. Yeah, we made the switch to metric in the 70s.
But I'm talking well before that, okay? We tried to make the switch. What I'm saying is we tried to make the switch in the early 1800s, but it was actually captured by a British pirate ship at the time, right? As a result, we stayed imperial all the way through the 19th century and well into the 20th. And then in the 70s, we tried to convert. Back in the supply chain, U.S. companies also use metric. Yes. Why are automobiles, of course, are sold internationally, why are automobiles listed with engine displacement in liters? Why are almost every single bolt or nut in your car is going to be metric?
Not applicable to
Yeah,
Ford.
so, what?
I said not applicable to Fords.
Some Fords. Guarantee you if you buy a Fiesta or a Focus, almost everything in that car is metric.
My Taurus was Imperial.
Yeah, because the Taurus wasn't, the Taurus wasn't sold in anywhere besides the U.S. and Canada, I believe. But yeah, no, I get full well that the U.S. government converted to metric in the 70s. But I'm talking well before that. All right, you get 2 sets of abs left. We're gonna do leg raises, and we're gonna do. Cable out from under there. There we go. Do leg raises. We're going to do sit-ups today. Come on. Finish. Finish. 2, 3. Oh, my abs are killing me now. I work for the government of the private industry and wait for metric to hit the masses, regular people like every other Western country. Again, we tried. In the 70s, there was a big push for metric. And then we elected Ronald Reagan and all of that went poof. Go ask any baby boomer in the United States. They'll tell you they remember the big push to go to metric in the 70s. Guarantee you. So you can blame the Gipper for that one, as well as the reason that the alcohol age is 21 in this country instead of 18. That was also a Reaganism. Bonzo was not the good president a lot of Americans seem to think he was. Here we go, 2, 3, 4. Come on. 19 more. Come on, finish.
maybe Biden can make metric happen in the second term. I doubt it. Biden's an old fart. Any of the older generation's not going to make metric happen. I don't like Ronald Reagan. Was doing some research. Reaganomics was a lie. That shit don't work. I feel like a whole clown. Alexander Hamilton's financial policy is a lot. So Reaganomics can work. The problem is that Reaganomics is based around an economic concept known as the Laffer curve, named by economist Art Laffer. What Art Laffer's work suggested was that at certain tax levels, you do get an increase in economic productivity and thus a boost to overall tax revenue if you lower taxes. However, what conservatives like to leave out of the Laffer curve is that this doesn't apply at every marginal tax rate. This only applies at very high marginal tax rates. For instance, if you have a marginal tax rate of 80, 85, 90, 95%, like a lot of European countries did in the 60s and the 70s, and even the US did in the 50s, you get a lot of people who will, for fairly obvious reasons, stop working as hard and also try to hide their tax money because it's a very high incentive to do so. There's an upper limit to where you can raise taxes, and if you raise taxes beyond that point, you start getting black market effects. This is what Art Laffer's work was about. So the idea was, if you were to lower tax rates maybe a little bit lower, I think his work suggested 50 to 55% was a good top marginal tax rate, then you would get an economic boost. It's an optimum point from, again, 80, 85, 90%. Of course, the Republicans, and Reagan especially, took this to mean lower taxes equals more economic growth all the time, always, no matter what the rates are. And Reagan slashed taxes down to, I think, 28% for the top tax bracket. That's not what Art Laffer was suggesting you should do. So it was a distortion of an otherwise cogent economic theory. So there's your answer. Ab's done. Yeah, looking good now. Not bad. If we hit 50 viewers, by the way, I will do the splits. That's the other fun little rule we have. Hopefully Biden revives the U.S. National Bank. Swedish friend told the states don't have one, and he was surprised. Yeah, we don't generally nationalize banking. There are some good reasons for that and some bad ones. I'm not convinced that's an industry that needs nationalization. If I was going to nationalize an industry before any other, it would probably be the railroads. Private rail doesn't work, and the big four are doing a lot of damage to this country. At bare minimum, we should use the threat of nationalization to bully them into providing better service, and at least giving Amtrak the priority it's supposed to already have by law. That one pisses me off a lot. Again, I am no economic left-winger, but on that one, I'm very much in favor of using the threat of nationalization to scare corporations into performing better. You heading out?
No, I'm just checking the garden.
Oh, all right. Can you do me a favor and bring in the power cable and my blender bottle from the garage?
Sure.
We'll appreciate it. Thank you. I'll give you a shout out while I do that, because... Are you streaming tonight, by the way?
Probably not.
Okay. How about tomorrow?
Maybe.
All right. Well, I'll give my shout out to my wonderful roommate, Dodger, there. She is a huge South Carolina Gamecocks fan. She's my roommate, and she is from South Jersey. So if you're from New Jersey and you want to talk about that, she'll certainly be able to talk you up all day about the Garden State. She's from Camden County, so she's seen some shit. Camden's fucked up. So I'm just trying to catch my breath, let the blood get back up to my head a little bit. Let's see, what else we got? Let's talk about the state of the stream. So, another thing I need to do is go to the Q&A and after section. Boom, much better. Tomorrow I will be live at 9 a.m. It's not going to be a lifting workout. It's going to be really brutally hot tomorrow. What I may do, try making wine live. That could be fun. I may do a little bit of wine making on
stream. That could be quite fun. I have to harvest the grapes today, but that's not too hard. But yeah, would y'all like to see me do that? Would y'all like to see me do a winemaking stream? I actually do, when I make the wine, I actually do crush the grapes with my feet. Hey, look, if it worked for the Romans, it works for me. Just, don't put lead sugar in the wine. That's less smart. But maybe I'll do that tomorrow. That could be a lot of fun. Especially because I'm gonna hit. Yeah, it's gonna be miserably hot tomorrow. Like even for here, I think. Let me take a look at the weather. 10-day today, yeah. The high is going to be 98 Fahrenheit, that is 37 C, with a humidity around 60%. It's going to be pretty miserable. It is South Carolina in summer. Tomorrow the high is going to be 95, which is 35 C. Then Monday, it gets a little cooler, and then the weather gets a lot nicer through early September. We get a few days where the highs was only in the 80s. That's pretty rare. But it doesn't look like it's going to get much above 91, 92. And more importantly, the lows are going to start getting back into the 60s. That matters a lot more for me. Well, that sounds nice, not hot. The humidity makes it pretty brutal. If you live in Texas or Arizona, my condolences. If you live in Arizona, leave. That state is fucked from climate change. In 50 years, Arizona is going to be a basket case. Hava Titi, what kind of wine? Scuppernong wine. So I grow my own Scuppernong grapes outside. The Scuppernong, I'll put that word in here because I don't think a lot of y'all have heard that. 56 days over 100. Yeah, you must live somewhere in the Southwest. So Scuppernongs are a type of grape that grows more or less exclusively in the Carolinas, Southern Virginia, and Eastern Georgia. And what the Scuppernong grape is a variety of muscadine that is native to the United States. It has been here since literally, we don't actually know how long. The original English explorers of the Roanoke colonies in the 15 and 1600s found the original mother vine on the Scuppernong River in North Carolina. And at the time they wrote back saying the amount of wine grapes in this region eclipsed the best wine lands of Spain, France, Italy, or Greece. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll go rinse this off.
Oh, I appreciate that. But for a lot of reasons, the biggest one being that Scuppernong grapes are they're very tasty. If you want to snack on them, they're delicious. But a lot of people view them as sort of inferior to Cabernet Sauvignon or any other European grape. The thing is, it's because it's got a thick skin. Well, that thick skin also means it's much more disease, pest, heat, drought, and natural disaster, hurricanes mostly, resistant than any of the grapes grown in places like California. Thank you. Thank you. So speaking of my roommate here, this is one of the products of our garden. For those of you in Europe, this is an okra. And okras are normally green, but you've grown garnet ones, and they're really pretty. It's lovely. And this is what it looks like on the inside. We've got seeds and a membrane. It's delicious. Okra is a good southern treat. Could you do me one more favor?
What's that?
Ice water.
Mm-hmm. Floor okra.
5-second rule.
Continent hibiscus, that's right. Yes, it is.
Okra is delicious. It's good in gumbo. You may filet. It's good in, you can fry it, you can saute it, you can stew it, you can chop it up, put it in salads, or you can just snack on them. Okra is good for you too. It's a plant. I mean, pretty much any vegetable is good for you, but okra is good for you. Let me plug in my laptop here. Yeah, Dodge, I'm thinking about maybe making the wine tomorrow live on stream. What do you think?
That could be fun.
I think so too. I think that could be quite fun. Now what I wanted to do this year, unfortunately my shine plug hasn't
told me he was available. What I wanted to do was get my Shine Plug to make me some brandy this year out of the Scupper Dogs. Make me some moonshine brandy, but no such luck there. I don't know where his still is, otherwise I'd do it. I don't have a still for myself. In fact, if I had one, that would be illegal. It is illegal to make moonshine in South Carolina. Now, it's not heavily enforced because this is the Deep South, but as a nuclear worker, I get monitored a lot more than my local friends and neighbors, so I can't do it. Oh yeah, you can steam okra, it's good too. Seriously, fried, there's no bad way to eat okra. My favorite's probably in gumbo. I like okra in gumbo. Or in etouffee, it can be good in etouffee as well. Or in, some people even put it in red beans and rice. That's controversial, but I like it. I do like okra.
You like it roasted with pork too.
Ooh, yeah, okra's roasted with pork. That's good stuff. Speaking of, did you want to do a pork loin on Monday?
I would love that.
Do we even have any?
I don't know if we do.
Can you check?
Mm-hmm.
I need to do meal planning. I'll probably do that after the broadcast is over. So let's see. Were all of y'all here on yesterday's stream for my sort of debrief from the vacations I took? Because I was in Boston the first week of this month, and then the previous 2 weeks I've been in Washington State. So I've been all over the place. So maybe yes, maybe no. I'm not quite sure. Yeah?
No, we do not have a pork loin.
Do not have a pork loin?
We need to get one.
All right.
Or a few.
Roger Wilco. I'll make an Aldi trip at some point, either today or tomorrow. I'm not sure which. All right, so let's see what else we got. This is, by the way, the Q&A kind of section of the stream. So for those of you who've got questions, want to talk about anything, this is sort of your chance. Ask away. Otherwise, we'll probably look to wind down and raid. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, so I'll be right back. Continue asking questions and fill up the chat. And once we're done there, I will answer them, and we'll go from there. I might stretch out a bit. Ooh. Oh, the chest is sore from yesterday. Just doing this, I can feel it in my chest. That's a great sign. Triceps ain't too sore. Oh yeah, shoulders are sore though. Trap's looking all right. Guns. Even got a little bit of the pump. Check the little vein there. Lat's looking all right. Can see him peeking out from underneath the pecs there. Come up like this. Not bad. Yes, sir. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Oh, something in my nose. I'm going to blow it out. Excuse me 1 second. If you want to do anything, you can.
I got to pet a chicken last week. That is all.
Back. Appreciate that. All right. Wonderful. All right. I think looking like we are going to. That was a gamecock.
Yes, I showed a picture of Sir Bigspur and said I got to pet a chicken last week.
Yeah, so that is the mascot of the USC, that's University of South Carolina, the real USC Gamecocks. I'm not a Gamecocks fan, but I also don't hate them. They're cool. I'll root for them over a lot of teams in the SEC. I'll put it that way. But I am, as you can see right behind my head here, I should say that way, I am a Texas A&M fan. That's where I went to school. All right. Looks like it doesn't seem as though we have any more questions or things to talk about. Chicken for consumption or just a pet? Well, that
Yes.
one's a mascot, but I certainly prefer chicken for. I see chicken as food. People already camping out for Lobo sticks this morning. Oh yeah. I think speaking of that, that's for A&M because I think we play New Mexico, don't we? Or do we play New Mexico State? I always forget which. I think we're playing the Lobos. Doesn't surprise me a bit. They say Texas A&M is a cult. They're correct.
Yes, it's the Lobos, New Mexico, next Saturday at 7.
Bet it won't.
In College Station.
Well, Havatiti, bet it won't lay eggs. Well, of course it's not going to lay eggs. Sir Big Spur is male. Male chickens don't lay eggs. Although I still do like the idea of doing that as a gag in CFB ball. And I know you did for the Delaware Blue Hen. That was quite entertaining. Sent you a picture of it on DC. Ooh, let's take a look at that. I got to see this. Yep, people are camping out this morning for logo ticks. Let's friggin' go. I'm gonna give that a whoop emoji.
Don't you mean a...
Dodge.
Yeah, that's right.
Dodge.
Yo.
Do you see this? Have you ever seen Discord do this before?
Yeah, that's a...
I'm gonna go ahead and just close down and reopen Discord.
Discord is having a stroke there.
Oh god, it's still having a stroke.
I think you have to Control-Alt-Del it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. That's wild. That's why there's multiple different Discords loading and running, I guess. It's fine. Anyway. We'll worry about that later. Let's go now. I think sounds to me like we're about done here, so I'm gonna go find someone to raid. The question is, let's find out who. Let's see here. Oh yeah, my Nats are in 4th place. Who we got on Twitch? We got Acro. We got Bam Bam. Celty came in earlier, so I feel like I should raid Celty. That's only fair. I do like Acro, but I don't think Acro's partner pushing right now. And Celty was in here earlier, so I feel obligated to raid Celty. Plus, Celty's got a smaller audience right now, and I feel like I want to give Celty a boost. I love Acro, I do, but Celty seems to need the views right now, so let's go raid Celty. All right, we're going to raid Mr. Celty here. We'll be live again. Raid message is Bull Rush, as it normally is. All caps Bull Rush. I'll be live again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Not sure what we're going to do yet. I'm either going to make wine or... We'll figure it out. In the meantime, y'all, make good decisions. Those good decisions form your habits. Those habits form your values. Those values form an ethos that can be the guide star through the rough waters of life. Come in for the hug, y'all. Much love. Boom. There we go. Shaboom. And we're done there. All right, YouTube, that was a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.